I'm not live yet.
Okay. Good, because we weren't connected to our device. I was like, wait, why isn't it playing through there?
One more and I'll be Facebook Live.
Okay.
Do you know who you are? Who you really are? Do you know you can be where you want to be? If you try to be what you can't be.
Still. I find it so amazing how you still exhibit love even though you've been hurt too many times.
Not yet.
Beautiful black woman, I see the stars in your
Okay.
Everyone, I'm so sorry.
That's okay.
You'll see the notification.
Do you know who you are? Who you really are? Do you know you can be where you want to be? If you try to be what you can't be.
Still. I find it so amazing how you still exhibit love even though you've been hurt too many times. Beautiful black woman, I see the stars in your complexion and the moon in your eyes. You're more like an angel in a human disguise. As soon as beautiful black woman, I see the stars in your complexion and the moon in your eyes. You're more like an angel in a human disguise. As soon as beautiful black woman, I see the stars in your complexion and the moon in your eyes. You're more
Hello, everybody. How are you? We're going to get started real soon. We're just kind of hanging out, waiting for some more people to join.
To make it to heaven, the first thing I'll do is paint pictures of you in the sky. You have such a beautiful mind and immaculate natural skin. All the diamonds in the world are not compared to you, my African gem. And everything about you is magnificent and spectacular. No matter your complexion, you still exemplify the essence of Africa.
Do you know who you are? Who you really are? Do you know you can be where you want to be? If you try to be what you can't, you know you can learn what you want to learn.
Black girl magic, black girl magic. Beautiful soul, natural skin, body look like it's beautiful soul. Natural skin.
I know at times I may not have the words to express to you, but even when you at your worst, I'll try my hardest to execute and bring out the best in you. I thank God for blessing you with excellence and benevolent worth, because every day next to you is like a festival of heaven on earth. You see, I love everything about you. Your blackness is greatness. With the soul of a million suns, you inspire the happiest faces. Even when I'm lacking in patience, you still bring out the best in me. I would try to give you the world, but you could show me galaxies that I never seen. I pray to God that you never leave.
You can learn what you want to learn if you try to learn what you can learn. Hey, black child, even though you are strong, I mean really strong.
Black girl magic, black girl magic. Beautiful soul, natural skin, body look like you just got back in the gym. Beautiful soul.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining us again this week for Gigi and Nyla's story time. So Nyla, are you excited that we're back again for another Tuesday?
Yes.
What'd you think about that song, Black Girl Magic? Black child, you can be anything that you want to be.
I like it.
You like it? Do you think that was a perfect way to get started today?
Yeah.
So who are we going to be talking about today, Nyla?
Ken Johnson.
And what did Ken Johnson invent?
He invented Phase 10, the card game.
Okay, so do you want to give some information about Ken Johnson?
Yes. Ken's big success came in 1982 when Ken set out to design a new card game upon seeing seeing the success of Uno. He wanted to design a card game that could achieve a similar success. After just a couple of days, as requested in his apartment, he came up with Phase 10 card game. His first customer included Kmart and Mildred stores. In 1987, Ken licensed his manufacturing and distribution rights of Phase 10 and began receiving royalties from worldwide sales. It is now produced by Battle and sold in over 30 countries, and it's the second best-selling card game in the world. In the summer of 2022, Ken will celebrate Phase 10's 40th anniversary. In 2012, Ken was nominated for a Taji Award, the Oscar of the toy and game industry. Ken lives in Southeast Michigan with his wife of 26 years and their 15-year-old son. He currently owns 2 other businesses. Ken has been a guest speaker at inventor clubs across the country and provides support and rescues for inventors. One thing that Ken likes to say a lot: everything you need for success is within you. Everything outside you is either a tool or an obstacle.
So do you believe that everything that you need for success is within you?
Yes.
So are you going to use everything that you have inside of you to become successful?
Yeah.
So what traits do you think you have that will help make you successful?
My smartness, my attitude, and my creativity.
So is your attitude like a nasty attitude or a positive attitude? You have to think about it?
Positive attitude.
Why did you have to sit and think about it?
I don't know.
You don't know. So along with doing that, Ken also goes around speaking to people. And when he goes to speak to a large group, he speaks about success, inventing A to Z. So he helps you to develop ideas, how to create prototypes. He also speaks about licensing your invention. How do you want to bring your invention to the market? He tells you what is a license. He tells you how to go through the process of licensing. He tells you what deals are win-win deals. He also speaks about venturing your invention, which is financing, marketing, distribution. He also speaks about success by thought, which is teaching you how to be successful within your reach. what you need to be successful, and a way to think to become successful. So not only was he successful, but he has taken the tools that he's used and now he's turning them into tools to share with other people on how to be successful. I think that's pretty cool, right?
Yeah.
Because some people will create something or will become famous and they'll forget about everybody else. And they won't want to share with you the steps or the tools that they used to become successful, or share with you how to get things from the ground up. And that's what he does. He wrote a book called The Simple Plan, which you can purchase on Amazon. And he will soon have a book called From Scratch and The Success by Thought. Now, Nyla mentioned that Ken is celebrating his 40th anniversary this year. Can you believe that Phase 10 has been out for 40 years? No, right? I mean, I just discovered today that you can download the Phase 10 app on your phone. So you can play Phase 10 on your phone. And I had no idea. Talk about discovering things as we're discovering new inventors, right? So Phase 10 is a rummy style card game. It was invented, of course, by Detroit native Ken Johnson. He's celebrating his 40 years. In order to celebrate the anniversary, Mattel, which produces the game, is partnering with Johnson to release a special edition Phase 10 box set. You think we should probably think about getting that box set, right?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's going to have everything because he has like 5 different games now of Phase 10. So it's not just a card game, it comes in all kinds of forms. Johnson, who still resides in Southeast Michigan and runs several businesses, created the game in 1982 at just 22 years old. So at 22 years old, he used what was in him to create a game, right? To invent a game, right? Create, invent. That's pretty cool, right?
Yeah.
So how old are you?
I am 19. No, I'm 9.5.
She's 9.5 because in 2 weeks, Nyla will be 10. So she's just all excited about going into double digits. I'm not, but she is. So in the reality, at any moment, you could be someone.
Inventing something.
Exactly. So Phase 10 has gone on to be translated into more than 20 languages and sold in more than 30 countries. More than 2 million Phase 10 decks of cards are sold each year. Can you believe that? That's crazy, right? This is a quote from Ken. I'm excited to partner with Mattel to celebrate the 40th anniversary of Phase 10, says Johnson in a press release. Since inventing the game in 1982, it's brought me so much joy to see how this game has become a multi-generational family tradition over the years, transcending languages and cultures to bring people together all over the world. So what he's most proud of is that his card game that he invented is now all over the world, and that people are sharing it and people are playing it. You can play it on your phone, which means that you can probably challenge one of your relatives that lives somewhere else. So you still can interact with this game, which is pretty cool, right? So, when you think about inventors, you think about all the things that they have to go to and all the processes to get there. I love that this inventor has taken the time to share with you some of the ways to become famous, some of the ways to take something that you're sitting around and you're tinkering with and turn it into magic, just like Phase 10. It's pretty much a magical game, right?
Yeah.
Card game similar to Jim Rummy, and it's a family-oriented game, kind of like Uno, which is why he kind of saw how Uno took off and it was doing so great and decided to create something slightly different. So what do you think about that?
I have no idea.
You're a little off today. I don't know what's
I
going
am
on.
tired.
Nyla came home from school today and said she was super tired. I guess her brain is on brain freeze right now.
I think that it's cool
You think that it's cool? And why do you think that it's cool?
because he took someone else's invention and changed it into his own.
Change it into his own. So he didn't create the wheel completely. He just changed the wheel slightly so that it would become his own personal invention, right? So what does that say to you? That sometimes you don't have to start from scratch. You can just build off of what's already in front of you, correct?
Yeah.
So do you think that that's something that's helpful in life?
Yeah.
So when you have people giving you great advice or when people are showing you things, is that something that's positive to help you move forward?
Yes.
Yes. So do you love when people talk to you about positive things to help you move forward?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what's some positive things that people have talked to you to help you move forward in what you want to do in life?
That I will do great in life, that I will be successful, and I would say that a lot of people say that my designs are good.
Right. So Nyla is going to actually have some Barbies in some of her designs next week, right?
Yeah.
So she can show you some of the things that she's working on that she wants to do as far as inventing different things. She wants to be a designer, a clothing designer. So she's hoping that with clothing designing, she will invent some kind of wonderful tool that will help create outfits a little bit faster than they're created right now. All right. So she's going to use the positive things that Nyla has had in her life is people expressing to her that they think she's a pretty smart kid. They think that she's going to be successful and that they think she has a bright future ahead of her. Those are some of the tools that she's going to use and moving forward in life. So Nyla and I kind of promised that we wouldn't keep you long. We are just super excited because once again, we are working side by side with the NAACP, SRI of Albright, and Mayor Eddie Morán in the city of Reading, who have invited us to come back again this year and do our story time in the month of Black History Month. But Nyla, we celebrate Black history
Every single
day. We celebrate Black history. But we are so honored to be able to partner with these
NAACP.
organizations. God, who are we partnering with?
NAACP, Eddie Morán, and drawing a blank on
SRI
Oh
Albright.
yeah.
And SRI from Albright. And SRI from Albright is a group that they are actually responsible for getting these inventors to come here, because at the end of all of this, Nyla will get to sit with the inventors and actually talk to them and kind of pick their brains a little bit about their inventions. And that happens to be on her birthday. Pretty cool, right? I think that's a great birthday present.
Yeah.
So Nyla, is there something else you wanted to share with us today?
So every Tuesday, since that's when we do it, I have this paper here of inventions, Black inventors who invented the inventions, obviously, and when they were invented. I'm gonna share a couple of them with you guys, so you could just know about it. The first one that I want to share with you guys is the egg beater, because I know a lot of people like to cook and bake and stuff. That was made by Willie Johnson in 1884. One of my favorite things, because my hair is crazy. Hairbrush made by Lydia O. Newman in 1898. The mop was made by Thomas W. Stewart in 1893. And the last one that we have is the traffic light, and that was made by Garrett Morgan in 1923.
So you named a very few things. And did you realize that these things that you use every day were invented by Black people?
Yeah.
You knew all that?
Yeah.
Oh, well, excuse me. Doesn't that make you feel really proud to know that when you're brushing your hair, that a Black woman, yes,
Black inventor's breath.
absolutely. And when you're in there using an egg beater, making something that you're baking, how cool is that? Scott, it makes me feel pretty honored to know that they were the inventors of these things. Yeah.
Because it makes me kind of feel like that. Hold on. I lost your thought. Oh. It makes me feel like that Black people can do much more than they're expected to do. Instead of them just sitting on the sidelines and letting other colored people do it, Black people in this nation and a whole bunch of years ago, they're showing and proving that we are much more than people expect us to be.
And with that, I think we're going to end it on that note. How about you?
Yes.
Well, there you have it, everybody. Thank you for joining us on another Tuesday for Story Time with Gigi and Nyla. And we are so honored to be here. And again, we'd like to thank Mayor Eddie Morán and the City of Reading for hosting and having us, the NAACP, SRI of Albright. And you know, we have to shout out some very important people that I don't think we shouted out. And that is Mr. and Mrs. Butler, who truly, they kind of got us this job, wouldn't you think? And that's because they believe in us. And we are so honored to have people like that in our lives who believe in us and who trust us to always do a great job whenever we're called upon. Right?
Yeah.
All right, everybody, have an awesome Tuesday. We look forward to coming back to seeing you again next week. And I have a surprise for Nyla. We have 2 female inventors that we're going to talk about next week. So we've got some girl power for you. And they'll actually be joining us here in Reading on the 28th. Yeah, I knew that would make you happy. All right, everybody, we want to say thank you. And as always, we appreciate you. And please remember to come back and join us next Tuesday. Bye-bye.